Welcome to another episode of Why Do Mechanical Engineers Hate Mechanics? This episode is about on Lincoln LS. Why the heck did the four engineers decide to put this freaking, what is this thing? I'm mad. That's so I can't think. This freaking thermostat housing, like just ever so slightly, really slightly underneath the freaking intake or the plenum, so that it's so hard for you to get the freaking two back bolts out. Because let me show you. They're this long. So when you're trying to get that out of there, and this is the space you get in between. Like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? I don't understand what was the thought process. Why?
So everything is why. But the worst thing is when they design a bolt that can only be turned by the Hexadoodle 3000. That's what they call it. Yeah. A tool you can only get from the dealer for the price of a small vacation. For the 2000 Ford Focus, they integrated the airbag module right into the steering wheel, requiring a special tool and a special procedure to get it off. A design they used just for a few years, and then after that, never again.
This is why mechanics hate engineers. Nissan Titan is in the shop today. Customer states the starter is going out. The customer was mad about the price to do this starter. I don't blame them. Another dumb design Nissan requires a special fuel line disconnect. Here it is.
Let's go back a little and take a look at that right there. And this is the quiet war that is going on in garages all across the country. It's not loud, it's just personal. It's like a cold war between engineers and mechanics. So we're looking at the battle plans at play right here. But thankfully, now social media is proving engineers basically have it out for the men and women trying to keep you safe on the roads. And when we have videos, I've commented on quite a number of them, of people actually complaining about the luxury car they bought and how many times it has broken down on them, typically wasting a lot of money, or they're operating outside their tax bracket, as some of us have called it. But really and truly, look at what the men behind the scenes have to go through. Let's go ahead and finish this one.
This was harder than usual with a hurt wrist.
Because someone has to do the job and the job has to go on.
Triple checked for any debris.
Yep. Vacuum cleaned, hopefully replaced the gaskets there. Looks all done. It's got to start it up.
Beautiful.
One click and it started. The customer will be pissed because a typical starter motor for this type of vehicle, the V8 Titan, you're looking at about $495 we're seeing right here on screen. And you're going to throw in labor, which is about a 3 to 4 hour job. And you're looking at least another $450. So overall, include taxes and mobilization in turns called consumables. When you look at your line item, this is easily a $1,000 job you're looking at right here. And that is why maintenance cost is very much so a big factor when you take into consideration the cost of owning a vehicle. But let's look at some of the comments right here. And the top one here says, imagine doing all that and the brand new starter is bad. Yes, it has happened. They get a brand new starter from the manufacturer. Whether it's a brand new OEM or an aftermarket, sometimes they're in really bad condition and then they have to go for another one. Worse if they only ordered one. No, another comment says car engineers should be required to work on their own cars before releasing them to dealers. Then things would change. Not all engineers can work on cars, really and truly, because they study something else totally when they're in engineering school. And furthermore, you have robots actually running the assembly line these days. Most people in the factories right now, they're just there to ensure that everything is actually conducted. But we get what he's saying. This one says, no freaking way, really. That's where it has it? Damn, yes. That's basically where they have it and what the mechanics have to go through. Let me read another one that says, this is a no for me. I was just about to get a Titan 2. Glad I didn't. I am used to starters being under the car. Easy kind of way to get to it. Not in the top of the vehicle. No, no, no. This is bad. Again, the information is there for you to check it out, to investigate. Thankfully, social media is showing how mechanics actually work on these cars and the challenges they endure in order to get you going on the road. But the biggest joke in any garage is the hidden oil filter. An oil filter change should be the easiest job on the books. You drain, you unscrew, you screw, you fill, easy. But somewhere along the line, an engineer decided that that job was just too simple.
I am extremely thankful that Subaru updated their exhaust manifold, because this was always annoying to deal with. Let me show you. Welcome to the Ring of Fire, where the oil filter is located right up there. This, of course, gets up to 1500 degrees Fahrenheit. And if you get any oil on these exhaust covers, then you will never get it out. You literally have to burn it off.
Yep.
I am extreme.
And what some mechanics do, they unbolt the entire exhaust right there, drop it to the ground, then they get to the oil filter, giving themselves more work. Or you're going to have to sit there between 30 minutes to an hour to wait until that exhaust is cooled before you can work on it. Take some older Lexus RX models, for example. The engineer stuck the oil filter right underneath the exhaust manifold in a space so tight you can't get your hand in. My hands could never get inside there, let alone a wrench. Or how about the V6 Volkswagen from the 2000s, where the filter is only reachable from the bottom, completely blind and right over blazing hot headers? Then you have to ask, why? The engineer's logic may be, the engine has a 100,000 mile warranty, the oil filter needs changing every 5,000 miles. So that's not my problem. That's a mechanic's problem right now.
You see that shit? That's how you do it. Ingenuity. All right, and people wonder why mechanics hate engineers. I gotta get this bolt out of here. Look at this. Really? Really? But you're not gonna defeat me today. You know why? Because I've been doing this shit too long. Hold on, I'm gonna show you exactly what to do right now. All right, you think you're gonna defeat me, huh? Not today, my friend. Oh, God. How you like me now? How do you like me now, engineers? Huh? What's up? What's up with that, huh? See that shit? That's how you do it. Ingenuity. Now, I could just, take the two bolts off of the bracket, but it wouldn't have made for a good video. All right, guys.
And that's why I consider mechanics some of the brightest people here on the planet, because they always have to be thinking and innovating how to get around complex problems. And you're seeing it right here. And they usually end up with, scraped knuckles, always cursing. And they have special wrench that still doesn't quite fit. They just have to accept the fact that it's going to take a long time. But we also need to accept that we have to pay for the services that we require from them. It's just that simple. They tell you a price, you can shop around, but just don't haggle, because you're not going to do it. They have to do it, and someone has to do it.
Why do engineers hate us? That's the dipstick on an F-150. That's the catalytic converter. That thing gets really, really, really hot. To check the fluid level, I have to heat this engine or this transmission up to 200 degrees. Then with the engine still running, I have to stick my hand up here, undo this cap, and then there's a little plastic dipstick in there that I got to heat. Why do you hate us? Why?
But we have an engineer here who's going to try to explain exactly what she does, why she does, and why they're basically just pissing off mechanics. Well, she's trying to say it's not her fault.
Just because I studied mechanical engineering does not mean that I can fix your car. It's a common misconception that mechanical engineers and mechanics are the same thing when they are not. Let me explain the differences. Mechanical engineers design and develop mechanical systems and components using advanced mathematics and engineering principles. They often work on creating new technologies or improving the existing ones in fields like aerospace, automotive, and energy. while mechanics maintain and repair machinery, ensuring that it operates correctly and safely. They work hands-on with tools to fix issues in systems like cars, industrial equipment, and HVAC. Both mechanical engineers and mechanics are super important to have the mechanical systems we use on the daily.
Yeah, but the designs on the car actually tells the mechanic, you're not worthy, but mechanics, they always have to find a way. Whether it's welding two tools together or 3D printing a custom socket, they're always outsmarting the system.
I really don't know who had the bright idea with a thermostat underneath the fuel rail and underneath the intake. But I got some ideas.
This is why engineers hate mechanics. And trust me, the hate goes both ways. You see, engineers don't get paid more money when they design a good car that lasts forever. They only get paid for making designs that sell a whole lot of cars. It doesn't really matter how long it lasts, and it really don't matter how easy or hard it is to fix. You see, us mechanics do what the engineers try to make impossible. Take all these little intricate things apart and fix them to make these cars last much longer. But the engineers and the car companies, they don't want that because they want to sell more cars. And the more cars that break, the more cars they can sell. So instead of concentrating on the powertrain systems and the stuff that makes cars last longer or easier to repair for mechanics, engineers rather spend their time making cars look more sleeker, cooler, with more screens and bells and whistles so they can sell more product. Now, all these bells and whistles don't do anything for your car or make it last longer, and they certainly don't make it easier to repair. But what it does do is make you want to buy the new car that has the new bell or whistle or has the new fancy feature that your car doesn't have. All the while, they keep making the powertrain systems more expensive and harder to repair. And you won't even know until your car breaks and you come to me and I give you an expensive repair bill. And then I'm the bad guy, right? Wrong. We're just doing our job, which is fixing the junk that the engineers make.
So do engineers really hate mechanics? Probably not. But they do live in a perfect world of computer simulations where bolts never rust, plastic clips never gets brittle. The mechanic lives right here in the real world. They are the translators, the improvisers, the ones who turn engineering theory into reality. One busted knuckle, one snapped plastic ring, and one creatively used zip tie at a time. While the engineer signs off on the blueprint, the mechanic is the one who always gets the last laugh because he's getting paid of how many more faults he has to encounter and endure and try to fix. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Share your own engineering horror stories down below. Remember to grab a copy of my ebook, The Parts Manager Guide. The links are in the description box. Stay sharp, stay educated, and I'll see you in the next one.